Look at this. Look at that strange looking thing. First step in whoa. Okay, B. You keep on doing your thing and I'm gonna do mine. My goodness. See, you don't get that at the store. Look at this. Look at that strange looking thing. First step in whoa. Okay, B. You keep on doing your thing and I'm gonna do mine. My goodness. See, you don't get that at the store. This just in, it's a beautiful day out in the garden. I've seen an orange cat walk by and hopefully maybe he'll make an appearance in this video because oh boy, I'm excited. Look at the splendor, absolute beauty of these crops. I mean, you can't replicate this no matter how much you try. Oh, look at that, Mr. B. And I see the prize right there. Wham. We're gonna get him. A beautiful sunny fall harvest day, perfect for picking some cucumbers and talking about the lack of sustainability and ethics in the fast fashion industry. And you know what? Oh my goodness, I have to show you guys all of these beautiful cucumbers in this garden right now while I scope out some that are going to be good for pickling. Let's talk about sustainability. And the reason why I'm getting these cucumbers from the garden is because the idea of sustainability is sort of an action or a practice that you can continue on for years and years and not really have any negative consequences of those actions. And what I'm trying to symbolize here is the fact that instead of the store-bought cucumber. Oh my goodness, I just got a great one. Okay, I'm gonna let that spider do its thing and I will be back to it. And I have my pickle bag here. I have one in here. Look at him. Look at that. Amazing. You're going in a jar. So, in the scope of sustainability, fast fashion companies frequently use a mix of polyester and cotton for their clothing. Poly-cotton blends have been known to not be recycled due to the nature of the 60-40% polyester cotton blend. Cotton can easily be recycled, however, when mixed together, the process of the separation simply becomes too expensive for companies to try to recycle these materials. An example that I like to bring up was recently H&M, a popular fast fashion company, actually brought forward the movement of, hey, bring in your old clothes and you'll get a 15% off coupon at our store only. This is evil for two reasons, because first of all, the line that they introduced, they actually didn't introduce the whole entire store to be made of recycled clothing. It was one particular line that they actually used this recycled clothing in. Many people put in their put in their clothes to be recycled, and then turns out that that whole entire sort of movement to bring about sustainability literally did nothing in the grand scheme of things, because most of the clothes that people recycled were unusable. Poly-cotton blend that no company can really do anything with. And then on top of that, okay, that spider's doing its thing. I'm going to pick that in a moment. Continue on to the point. People kept on bringing in their fast fashion clothing to a fast fashion company, which in turn gave them 15% off of their fast fashion. You see, it's like this continuous cycle. And I mean, sure, you say that this is better than nothing, Julia. Well, no, not really, because instead of a lot of these companies are getting away with wishy-washy claims of sustainability. I've noticed this even too on packages of clothing, like jeans, for example, saying that their polyester is made of 100% recycled bottles. Well, no shit. Polyester is always made of recycled fucking bottles. Fast fashion has, on the side of ethics, has had many slews of horrible infractions on human rights, workers' rights. Specifically, one case comes to mind with the United Colors of Benetton. And those of you in the United States aren't super familiar with that brand. However, the United Colors of Benetton is similar to something of a it's like if H&M and Uniqlo had a child, and now United Colors of Benetton exists. For their factory in Bangladesh, due to unsafe working conditions on top of that, the laborers that they employ are being paid pennies, and I'm talking pennies, that on top of clothing that comes from companies like Shein and Zaful and everything like that. I mean, those are run exactly the same, bringing you that poly cotton blend that just simply is no good for the environment. Your own cucumbers, and also by looking at companies who actually sustainably take their raw materials for their products is something to take a look at, and there's plenty of great companies that do that. Yep, let's get to picking. Hello, we are coming not live, but we are coming to you from the kitchen now, where we have all of our ingredients to our homemade pickles, as well as the ingredients to what makes a good fashion brand a good ass fashion brand. We have all of our ingredients, our pickles, and I'll go into the details of some of the ingredients that you need, and all of these ingredients are key to making a delicious jar of homemade dill pickles. So first, you need your mason jar, which I have very intricately and very meticulously put on a microphone right here. This wasn't really working, although it looks kind of snazzy. Put it on the jar, but that's not why we're here. Today we have this jar for our pickling ingredients. Pickle is sort of what keeps all of the goodness in, and the jar in itself is actually pretty plain. It really doesn't look like anything, it doesn't really hold much. Essentially what this is that the jar is really only as pretty as the things you put in it. Key foundations of your brand. Brands establish a sort of presence in a person's mind. Mantras such as be yourself, etc., etc. Well, fast fashion has become poignantly not anything. It just kind of floats out and doesn't really symbolize much for anything except, hey, buy your cheap clothing here. And also, by the way, that thing that you saw Kim Kardashian wear, or whoever the hell it might be, Kim Kardashian wear yesterday on the red carpet, we have it now here for $20. I don't know about you, but I think that's some shady shit. The jar is essentially your brand mantra, and I challenge you to find one. Zara, H&M, Zaful, Shein, that has an actual valuable brand mantra, one that they actually live by, not that sort of 15% BS, because it was BS and still is BS, and I don't even know if it's 15%, it might be more, but anyway, ends up in the cycle. While I'm not going to pickle at this very moment, I will show you the ingredients that you need to pickle your very own cucumbers. Now, isn't that magical? You've got your pickles, and I've been instructed not to actually pickle these yet because we only have 4 and they fit the size of my hand, and you know my hands are obnoxiously small. We have our garlic that we will peel, and you need about, oh man, the more the merrier. Take a whole head, take actually 3 heads, and go ahead and peel them to your heart's content. Need salt, and not just any salt, a lot of it, and it doesn't sound like I have a lot. Definitely take about, I would say 1, 2, we don't do milliliters here, do we? Okay, take about, let's go ahead and use 1.5 cups of salt. Amazing. You can even do 2. You need here are peppercorns, and this is busted, but that's because I totally tried to take peppercorns out of here before, and I broke it. But take out those peppercorns and get 2, let's go ham, let's go 2 tablespoons of that and pop it into the jar. Oh look, we found some more salt. Fantastic. Great. Okay. We have our salt. This is garlic. We have our salt, pepper. Although peppercorns would probably be the best option for this, as they're going to be sitting there for a while. Get it ready? Don't use this. So the salt and pepper is essentially what gives it that sort of typical foundation of what it means to be a dill pickle, adding that sort of saltiness, and then salt also helps with the fermentation process, and pepper just kind of there for a little je ne sais quoi. What it means to be a fashion brand. It has a sort of voice, it has a purpose, it serves a fundamental sort of aesthetic view that it can communicate to its wearers, to its admirers, and everything like that. I said it before and I'll say it again, fashion is an art. There's designers out there who put their thought, money, time into creating fashion design, and there are people who just rip things and rip ideas off, and so here we are. There are no fundamental sort of outliers, there are no fundamental markers of what a brand actually is, and this is very, very important, especially in a competitive marketplace. Next up, we have garlic! Finally, I have the right jar. Check that out. Fresh garlic that you have to peel, and I'll give you quantities in a moment, because I know you're wondering, oh my god, how much of each? Well, case by case basis, however I will most properly gauge it, but that sort of originality in its flavor. It gives it that sort of, that paired with the dill, gives it that sort of original flavor, that sort of zestiness, that sort of spice that really sets it apart from all the other things. And so a good fashion brand really does need to have a sort of founding principle upon which it laid its crucial designs off of, its idea off of. Fashion brands have a duty, in my opinion, to act like any other business in the marketplace. Something new, offer something interesting, and fast fashion is really, really good at stealing those original ideas. If I could figure out how to put pictures in my editing, I will go ahead and show you some of the famous ways that Shein and other companies have consciously knocked off really popular ideas and made a profit off of them. There really is no originality within the fast fashion industry. The products are being produced, sold, and then thrown away in record times. People have not been holding on to clothing longer than 2 or 3 months versus what it was a few years ago when people held on to their clothing for about, oh man, I mean years, not even months, years. Quality was good and everything was good about the fashion industry. And now fast fashion has this sort of, again, almost you can draw it a parallel to today's fashion industry. It's like the Tinder of fashion. There's always something better out there, or you speak, there's this sort of entitlement to have the best clothing out there, and it's just simply not the world we operate in. So, get your garlic ready, because this beautiful, stinky little baby is going to symbolize the originality and the integrity of a brand. This is an integrity filled. Is it a spice? I'm not sure. Okay, we'll use a knife for that. Get your garlic ready. The pièce de résistance. Dill. Cryogenically frozen. Oh yeah. There it is. Cryogenically frozen dill. And what you want to take is, I would at least take half a full cup of dill. A full cup of dill. If it was like in a bushel here, bam. Chop it in half. Put cup, even, you know what? 1.5 cups. 1.5 cups of dill. Shove it in there. It really symbolizes that sort of je ne sais quoi, that personal brand attachment. And I think this is very particularly important, especially in today's era, where all the things that I've mentioned previously, areas in sustainability, ethics, areas in originality, areas in integrity. You kind of want to bring all of that together, because a lot of the things that we do, the way we emulate ourselves to other people, the way we come across as, it speaks volumes. And so when we have brands that we're particularly proud of, brands that actually reflect what our ethics are, what our moral code is, outside of just in our minds and we actually communicate it out here, that almost brings a personal sense of attachment, incentivizes us to be a little bit more conscious about the clothing we're buying. Also happens to, in the end, pay off in the sense that we practice what we preach. Sure, it's a lot easier to go ahead and just go buy that vinegary ass pickle at the grocery store. What are you filling yourself up with? A bunch of chemicals, vinegar, throw off the pH balance in your whole entire body. Yeah, and the thing is that decisions like this, they do take a certain amount of self-reflection, consciousness of what you're doing, and also takes a really deep sort of reflective look at who you are as a person and whether or not the decision to actually step away from that really, really enticing $8 shirt that you saw one Instagram model wear and you think you just adore it, that poly cotton blend of 60-40%, and it doesn't have to just be that ratio, it could be any other ratio, that will end up in landfill. And believe me, there is tons and tons and tons of fast fashion clothing in landfill right now, simply because it cannot be broken down. I know what you're thinking. Oh, I could just give it another home. I can put it into Goodwill. I can put it into a secondhand store or consignment or whatever. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's not a good one. A lot of places like Goodwill, a lot of places like Plato's Closet, believe it or not, they actually have standards for the clothing that they're actually accepting. And so a lot of the stuff that Shein sort of fucking, I don't know, swimsuit, sweater that you bought, that you've washed 8+ times already, they're not gonna accept it, because guess what? They don't want shitty things in their stores either. It's not gonna be sold. It's pretty much can be used as a kitchen rag. Speaking of which, use your shit as a kitchen rag. That is also a great way to sort of reintroduce the clothing that you have class in 15 minutes. There's small things you can do every day to sort of mitigate the effects of the fast fashion that you've already purchased. But in the grand scheme of things, you do not want a vinegary pickle, because a vinegary pickle will ruin you on the inside. And this sort of process with salt, pepper, dill, garlic, water, and a jar will pay off dividends in months when you have something so delicious, so amazing for your body, probiotics. I mean, the process of fermentation is just incredible in itself. I mean, maybe not this fermentation for you particularly, but come on, fermentation is awesome. We are brought here to make an important decision, a decision that revolves around the future of our planet, who you are as a person, and also what you represent. An important part of making pickles is the order that you put it in. So you want to put all of your ingredients first. Bam, 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 bam. So we have, let's go ahead and start with our cucumbers. Bam, amazing. You just plop them right in there. And for a better visual aspect and just a better aspect of what this is supposed to look like in general, have a ton. You know how you're in restaurants and they have a bunch of ice, they put a bunch of ice in before they pour in the water? That's the concept that you kind of want to have. Fill this up all the way up to the brim. Pickles. I was instructed not to pickle these yet because I need a smaller jar and more pickles, but they are not ripe yet. Harvest season's crazy. Anyway, now we can actually go ahead. As you put things in your jar, you want to go ahead and start with garlic first. So take all of your little baby cloves of garlic that you've peeled, and I said about, I would say about 6, 7, 8. Anyway, you want to do maybe like 2 in between each crevice. Over here, 2 in between each crevice of the pickle. Again, you want this pretty much to be packed with all these beautiful things that will ferment for months and months to come. And this is definitely a strange and foreign concept to fast fashion. Good things take time. I have 10 minutes till class starts. Oh, so just as a visual representation, let's go ahead and pop these unpeeled garlic. You want to peel yours, remember that. We'll pop that in right there, right there. Oh my god, look at how beautifully that's falling in there. So you got that right there, that right there. Oh my god, I mean, it's constructing itself right before my very own eyes. In there, and you want to, yeah, I mean, you can definitely put more in, but if you want a more spicy pickle, definitely put that in there more. But let's put in some dill. I'm actually very scared to open this because this is a rare commodity. But have your, look at that beautiful thing. Oh my god. That smells delicious. Anyway, man, that is awesome. Okay, so you want to put that in there, and again, you kind of want to shove these in areas that are tight. I mean, you just want this tight, filled with everything that there is right there. Woo. My microphone went a little haywire there, but as you can see, it's all filled in there. And you don't want to get, I don't know, personal preference of mine, don't want to put too much dill in there, but you do want to shove that in there. And then so again, put it kind of sort of like in the garlic area, and really just pack that in there. And imagine if there was way more pickles in there, like shoved in there, like a can of something. And then you want to go in with your 1.5 cups of salt would actually be fine. Or maybe you can actually even go less. Honestly, this process is very sort of how you would say na oko. Na oko means on the eye, quite literally, which just means play it by ear. Funny how two different things kind of go hand in hand with that. So put in the salt, and then you want to just do a handful of peppercorns in there. Just a handful of peppercorns, which again, I don't want to F around with because I'm not pickling yet. I'm pickling later today. But 5 minutes till class. Okay, let's go. So we have all of that in there. And then once you have your jar filled with all beautiful goodness, you want to go ahead and fill it with water. That's right, and only water. Only water. The fermentation process allows all of this sort of stuff to essentially rot, but rot beautifully. So you want to fill it all the way up to the top with water, leaving very, very little air at the end. And when I mean very little, I mean very, very little. Like, do you see how close my fingers are? That much. You don't want to put a lot in there. And then what ends up happening is, ooh, you know what? Actually, I can show you. I mean, you can see it. Look at them. They've been chilling in there for a while. It's beautiful. They're quiet, not wearing Shein clothing, not doused in vinegar, just chilling, literally right there. You see the twigs of dill, and then the garlic is somewhere in the bottom. There's peppercorns in there, chilling in saltwater brine. I mean, it's a look. Oh my god, they even have sisters. That one's an ugly sister. That one is on its own hero's journey. And there definitely should have been more water in here, but I didn't make these. Somebody else made these in my family. And oh man, if I was standing by, I would tell him. But here is the beautiful, beautiful pickle. And we might even try one later. So as you can see, it is nighttime now, and I did not try one of those pickles because frankly, I've spent my entire waking hours this day trying to edit the video that oh no that I am not super proud of, but hopefully maybe by some off chance you did end up learning something, and I'm sure you're probably done with your tea now by the end of this 30-minute video, kind of pretty much not explaining either of the two things that I meant to explain. But I'm happy you're here, happy for the support if you've made it all the way through the end, which if you didn't, I don't even blame you. Long story short, I probably won't be making a video like that ever again, and trust me, I I wasn't looking forward to it probably as much as maybe you were, which is probably already a minuscule amount, but it was a process, and I do thoroughly enjoy pickling, but definitely not for the video aspect of things. So thank you for watching. Park and Block, Turtlenecks over tea. Any new content coming up, you know what, frankly I'm kind of exhausted, but I played around with some movie editing, and I guess that was a journey in itself. If anything, a personal journey, maybe not so much for you, but hopefully you did learn something, and just for the record, that recipe actually works. If you have any further questions, just go ahead and ask me, because I did not give really any proper measurements. Again, I have a tendency to film these right before I'm about to do something super, super timely, like going to class. I mean, I might have lost it. I might have lost it completely. As you can see, my eyes are very tired. But you know what? For the sake of harvest season, I'm willing to do anything, and I'm willing to do anything for you guys. So, and by you guys, I literally mean maybe like the handful of people that watch this, but for you, I am making videos. And this hopefully sheds some light on fast fashion and on pickling. And harvest season is and don't let this video turn you off from it, because I mean, the best thing that has ever happened to freaking hunter-gatherers was harvest season, and also domestication of animals. Freaking put a fence around that cow, bitch. I have gone completely delusional, so I'm gonna wrap this video up, and thank you for watching. Follow Park and Block on Instagram at Park and Block. Also visit us on Facebook, and remember to check out the website. It's currently in stages that I have to fix a lot of things, but again, tied up with the movie, or whatever you want to call this thing, and we'll get those cosmetic changes out and working by next week. So, and if you're wondering, the shirt that I have on right now, you can actually get your hands on to get on the Park and Block lookbook. And if you're wondering what this is, no, my camera didn't flip. This is Russian Cyrillic, and it says Provincia. So, go check it out. Awesome company, awesome brand, cool shit like this. And yes, thank you, and bye.